guys, and welcome to today's video. Today is a Military Monday, as you saw by the title. If you're new, I make motherhood and lifestyle content here on my channel. I share the ins and outs of motherhood on most of the time on Fridays, and then on Mondays I like to dedicate to my Military Monday. So I am a military wife. My husband is in the Army, and I've been a military wife for I think 7 years. So obviously I don't know everything. Obviously I'm gonna be wrong about some things, or I'm still learning. So take what I say with a grain of salt and I'm just telling you my experiences and some of my advice. So recently on my channel, I wanted to start sharing story times. So military spouse story times, like whether they be crazy or like really weird experiences that you've had as a military spouse, and I wanted to share them with you guys on Military Monday because I feel like there's a lot of stories out there that others can relate to. And also there's obviously some fun juicy gossip in some of them, and if you're like me and you're a stay-at-home mom and you don't have much going on in your life and you watch reality TV and videos like this so that way you can be entertained, then that's why I started doing this, because I love storytime videos. I am not the best at them at all. Thought it'd be fun. You guys seem to really enjoy those types of videos, so I'm gonna tell you a few story times in today's video that you guys submitted to me, and then I'm also going to answer a few questions that you guys submitted to me as well. If you want to be featured in my next Military Monday, then please head over to my Instagram. I will have it up on the screen and also linked down below always. And I usually ask on my Instagram story if you have any Military Monday questions or story times, and you can submit them to my DMs or in the question box that I have listed on my Instagram story. All the story times are anonymous. I'm not here to air anybody's dirty laundry. So anyway, let's jump into today's video. Let's answer these questions first. So the first question is, do you live really close to neighbors? If so, do you make friends or fly below the radar? So I currently, where we live very like close in quarters to neighbors, if that's what you mean. People get this mixed up all the time. So my husband is in the military, but he is currently doing recruiting for 3 years, and so we are here in New Jersey and we're not like near a military base. People always ask me like, are you at Fort Dix? Are you at Fort Dix? And no, we're not, because he is doing recruiting, and with recruiting you can go anywhere, any town, any place, anytime. So we're just like in a regular civilian town, so we live in a regular house. People also always say, oh my god, your house is so nice, like is that military housing? No, it is not. So we live close, like in quarters, and I have made some like friends that are my neighbors, but also like I like to just like do my own thing, and I have my own like virtual friends, like my internet besties and like my real, like all my besties basically. I mean, I've made friends over like Instagram and YouTube, like real friends that have become my real friends that I FaceTime like nonstop. And I also have like friends from back home that I still like keep in touch with and everything, and best friends. So yeah, I just kind of like keep to myself. I have kids, I have a husband, I have a house to clean nonstop. I'm taking the kids here and there. So I kind of like do my own thing, and throughout my life, like during my regular life, if I find a person that I really connect with, I will engage with them and we'll hang out. So I don't like try to push friendships just because I don't want a ton of fake friendships, or I don't want to feel like I owe something to someone. So I don't really try to push me on other people, and I hope other people don't try to push themselves on me, because I'm not gonna have it. But yeah, so I don't really like seek out a ton of friendships, but if something happens organically, then I'm open to it, and I love that. So like when I'm taking the kids to gymnastics or swim or something, like if I meet a mom that I'm really vibing with, then yeah, we'll hang out. Would you choose putting your kids in daycare on base, CDC, or going with an at-home sitter? So I personally never put my kids in any sort of daycare, not even at home, but I did babysitting for a family that was obviously military, and they preferred it better just from their perspective, because I was able to, like, I wasn't expensive obviously, and I was cheaper than the CDC, because CDC bases it off of your spouse's rank or whoever's in the service's rank, and so it can get a little costly. And yeah, so I think if you can find someone that you trust that's like babysits or like has kids or something like that, then it'd probably be more cost effective. I've heard good and bad things about the CDC, but it's hard to say honestly. Just from what I've heard though, it can get filled really quickly, or there might not be spots available. So if you can find someone that you trust, sorry, I know that was a long-winded answer, but I guess it's just kind of up to preference of what you want. If you feel like you want, you know, your child to interact with a ton of other kids and all that stuff and have like more of a daycare experience, then definitely go more for the CDC. But remember, they do base your payments around the rank of the person that is in the military. And then at home, like an at-home sitter would have a lot more one-on-one time and probably more cost effective. You maintain intimacy with your spouse when they're on deployment or gone for trainings. So when my husband was gone for trainings, he wasn't able to have his phone for certain trainings. He wasn't able to have his phone, so there was really no need, you know, for any crazy intimacy like while he's gone. But as far as like when he was away for like schools and stuff, that he had his phone, and also deployment, I think care packages are really fun. Like you could send like really cute little notes in there, like whatever you want to put in there depending on your relationship. You can like send sweet little text messages, or like you can like get a cute little outfit like off Amazon and like send him a picture of it and be like, can't wait till you get home and I'm gonna wear this, or just little things like that. I feel like just a little sprinkle in there, and trying not to have any like full-on arguments while they're gone, I feel like is very nice for them and for you. And just try not to be stressed out with everything, and just try to look forward to them coming home and then like just like teasing each other, you know, like being like, when you get home this is gonna happen, or let's try this, or whatever, stuff like that. So I feel like trying to spice it up and all that stuff. And then also when they do come home, actually follow through with it, because you don't want them to like go away for a deployment or for a training and then say all these things and they come back and then it's not like that. Or then next time when they go for a deployment, they're like, oh, it doesn't matter, it's not like this is gonna happen anyway. But just get them excited to come home, basically. Everything recruiting related, making that transition soon. So I feel like I should make a whole video on this. I don't have a ton of information, I guess, on it, so maybe I shouldn't, but I'll sprinkle in a few little things here. I would say, I don't know what your spouse's job is right now, but you will have a lot, at least for like our station and where he's at, you will have a lot of family time, which I love so much. Also try to remember that, you know, they are still in the military, so it's not like they're gonna have a full free schedule, but you are gonna have a lot of family time, and they're gonna have like vacations just like they would in the regular military. And when they first get to their duty station, it's gonna be a lot of adjusting, and they potentially might feel like, oh, I can't like do this isn't for me, it's totally different than my normal job. But then they may acclimate like my husband did. Like when he first got into recruiting, he was like, oh my gosh, this is so different, because he's infantry in the army, and so normally he's like out in the field training, doing all that stuff, but now he's sitting behind a desk making phone calls, making text messages, going on Facebook, like adding people and like all that stuff. So maybe I'll do a full video with him kind of talking about recruiting, because he's actually in it. I just sit on the sidelines and watch. But if you want to see that, let me know down in the comments, and I can definitely do that, because recruiting is definitely something that will come up in a lot of people's careers, because, or they'll get the option at least, because it's something that a lot of people want, and then also it's something that a lot of people just get orders for. But as for us, like we didn't ask for this. My husband got DA selected, which meant he got like orders for it, and then he went to school and he had some options. Well, they weren't really his options, they were just a broad spectrum of their options, and then he put, you know, in order what he wanted, and where we live now, it was his number 6 choice, so if that tells you anything. And then if he volunteered for this, he'll probably get a more of a general say of where he wants to go. But again, it's not guaranteed, because certain places need certain races, or they need you to speak a certain language and stuff like that, so it's kind of hard to say. But if you want more in depth for recruiting advice or thoughts on like so far as being a recruiter wife, and maybe his insight on being a recruiter, then let me know down in the comments below and I can definitely see if we can do something like that. Okay, this is gonna be the last question and then I'll jump into the few story times that we have. But I thought this one was a really good question and it's something that no one's ever asked me before, and I think it is excellent and I feel like it will help a lot of people. So the question is, while buying things for your home, such as furniture, decor, bedroom sets, etc., do you often find yourself buying things that go with and fit your current house, or do you find yourself thinking ahead knowing you'll end up moving eventually and wanting things to fit and go wherever you end up? So I thought that was an excellent question, and I personally just buy things that are my style. So if you saw my bedroom makeover, I put a chandelier up in this bedroom, and obviously in our next room maybe we'll have a fan in there and I can't do that or something like that. So I love the chandelier though, and I'll put this somewhere in our new house when we move eventually. I love it so much, and also it would be a really easy selling, like I could really easily sell that as well. So stuff like that. I buy things that are a lot of times I buy things that are good quality because I feel like they will last longer and stuff, but then again I buy things that are cheap too. So it just depends, but I normally just buy things that are, I don't buy a lot of things. I buy minimal for home decor as far as like furniture pieces because I don't want to overcrowd, especially if eventually we move into a smaller space. But it is hard when you move into a bigger space and then you're like, oh, I want to fill the space. But then you remember like, hey, I might move in 3 years and I might, you know, I might not have this much room. So yeah, I would definitely just buy your taste, your style, like do what you like in a house like currently, because my style now is not what it was in our first apartment at all, like literally at all. So I buy pieces like with certain like colors that I would use more often than not, so like whites or black. So like my dresser that's over here is white, and I've had this since we moved into our first apartment, but it's completely white. And what I've did to spice it up and make it more like my style as I've evolved is change the knobs. So the knobs I can change out super easily. So stuff like that. I don't over clutter as far as furniture. I know when you get a bigger house, so you're gonna want to like fill the space, but just remember that you may move into a smaller home, because we live in a like much, like not the smallest home, but a very tight home now, and if I had any more furniture it wouldn't be able to work. So anyway, if that helps, I hope, but make sure you just buy stuff that makes you happy. So my first story time is, I apologize now for the typos. Oh, and my husband is in the Navy. So you know the story is based for the service member that is in the Navy. It's a bit scandalous to say the least. So we have, my husband and I moved to a new command shortly after being there. The person in charge of the group, not great with terms, so she's saying she doesn't know the terms. Same girl. Anyways, rumors were spreading fast of what he was doing. As you can guess, a long story short, he was cheating on his wife, who is also a service member. They have a 2-year-old and have been married for 2 years. Well, it turns out he had various different women he was seeing and taking them to their home while she was shipped out on deployment. The reason lots of people knew was because he bragged. Oh my gosh. Anyways, when she found out, she was very mad. So as she docked and was back at the shore duty, she told him, which led to a whole thing, as you may know. On top of that, she slept with one of his friends, filmed it on her marital bed, and then sent it to him. He said when he opened it and noticed what it was, he threw his phone and broke it. So now that video was put into part of an investigation of how they both cheated, and there was service members involved, his friend. Also, on top of all the drama, the girl he was hooking up with, quotation, service member 2, spoke up about their affair. The man in question is still part of my husband's command and has lost lots and lots of respect from his fellow peers and is a bit of a joke. He is still with his wife and supposedly are working it through. Oh my gosh, I just thought it was insane. He says now he's only got married because she got pregnant. By the way, she was his sea babe first. Wow. I don't know what sea babe means, but I assume that while he was deployed, like his first deployment, she was like his girlfriend, maybe, if that's what that means. I have no idea what it means. I could be totally wrong. Sorry, Navy wives, put it down below. I don't know what it means. But wow, that is crazy. I can't believe they worked through it. I mean, good for them, but also if he's just still saying like, yeah, I only got married to her because she got pregnant, like that's not a good like place for the kid to be. Like, what, does the kid really need to see that? You guys really need to stay together so the kid can see their parents together, but parents are gonna hate each other? I just like don't see, I don't think that should how it should be. But you know, to each their own. But that is insane. I mean, I feel like he did something super bad, she did something super bad, so maybe it like equaled itself out to them and they're trying to work on it. But wow, that's crazy. I also want to preface this by saying I don't want to scare any new military spouses out there, because a lot of the stories that I do get are cheating stories, just because it's very prominent in the military. It's a thing, but it doesn't mean that it's going to happen to you. And obviously I'm not saying this happens to every relationship. So these are just the stories that I get, and a lot of the times they are cheating. So don't be scared about this. This happens, you know, to the best of us, but it's okay. So don't be worried if you're getting into the military as a military wife and you're really worried about these cheating scandals. It is common, but also you know your relationship, and you honestly shouldn't be getting married if your foundation isn't solid, in my opinion. So moving on to the next story. When my ex-husband and I were active duty, we were stationed in Germany. We were both living in the barracks until we were expecting our first child. I got to be 8 months pregnant and there was nowhere on base housing available. And overseas, typically you have to live on the base unless you have a very high rank or unless they give you special permission to live off the post. I was a specialist, and now my ex-husband and her now ex-husband was a CPO, which is like promotable, corporal. At 8 months pregnant, I am still living in the barracks. Ew, I can't imagine. Like, that is horrible, especially probably with all the people around you, and just like you want to sleep or you want to throw up or whatever, or the smells of the other people's food. Ugh, I would hate that. I hate that for you. I was still living in the barracks, and we finally got necessary permission from housing to seek housing off the base. There was a sergeant in his unit that was super cool. His wife, however, not. Not surprising, they're divorced now. She threw a hissy fit because they weren't allowed off-post housing when they got to Germany. They have 3 kids. She said so many awful things about me and my unborn daughter, all because they authorized us for off-post housing. The soldier tried to get his wife to stop being a ratchet, you know what, bitch, about it, and she wouldn't. She started rumors that my ex-husband, well, it's her now ex-husband, at the time it was her husband was not the father of their daughter, and that I slept with the housing NCO to get permission to live off post. Wow, this girl, true, you know, really showing her true colors there. Okay, I was 8 months pregnant and they still didn't have on-post housing available. What else were we supposed to do? I didn't even want to live off-post because a few months after our daughter was born, her dad was deployed for 15 months and this was 10 years ago. I didn't want to be away from the community, but I had no other choice. And she spent the entire deployment at the FRG events telling everyone how I apparently got permission to live off post by sleeping with the housing NCO, and that my daughter wasn't my ex-husband's, and even called me out in front of a bunch of people about it. Wow, like, that is so horrible. First of all, you're already pregnant, super pregnant, in a not so great living condition, considering you're pregnant and you're with a bunch of like other people and all that, and you just want to like do your own thing. And then on top of that, the emotions of the pregnancy. And then on top of that, your husband like being like you going to live off base when you don't even want to. You're in Germany, like that's scary. And this girl is coming at you saying you slept with someone to get there. That's ridiculous. She was just jealous. Obviously, that was very clear. She was very jealous. She obviously wasn't happy in her own relationship, clearly. The fact that she would even make that rumor up is sick, and karma probably bit her in the ass. So I am so sorry that you dealt with that, and I know you said that was 10 years ago, but that's horrible, and I hate that that was even an experience for you. And I hope you know now, I'm sure you do, that this girl was just such like in a low place obviously in her life that she felt the need to put that out on everyone else. And I can't believe no one else, I don't know, I didn't ask you, but I can't believe no one else at that FRG meeting was cool, like they were all cool with her talking like that to you. I would have like stood up for you and been like, whoa, like that's a little harsh, like you don't know her life. I don't think you should be making allegations like that. So I'm so sorry that happened to you, but you know what? You know that she was obviously in a bad place in her life, and she was jealous of you that you had a happy marriage at the time and a growing belly, and you were getting to do what she wanted to do, which was live off the base. Thank you for sending in that story time. I know that probably entertained some people and also informed some people about some things that potentially could happen. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Military Monday. Please, please, please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you're not yet. Also, let me know down in the comments what you want to see next, if you like the story times, if you like the Q&As. I need your feedback so bad because you guys are kind of what makes this channel go around. So definitely make sure you let me know your feedback down in the comments. I would love to hear it. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.